And when I say I wish I could delete the motives and intentions of folks vying on social media for placement in the main character Olympics, I mean exactly that. All right, you white motherfuckers, all eyes on me. This is the I Refuse podcast. I'm Mr. Fox, the I Refuse podcast, and I'm back for a very special episode for mature audiences. This is a very sad day for reasons that you may not expect coming from the I Refuse podcast. I'm Mr. Fox. I'm back. A couple of days ago, out of Chicago, actually on a Thursday morning, a a man approached and chased another man in the Roger Parks district of Chicago, gunned the man down while he was walking his dog, and then proceeded to turn the gun on himself. Now, one of the two men passed from his injuries. The other man ended up in the hospital. The man that ended up in the hospital was the murderer in this equation. And this is not alleged. This is already out in print. This is already in the news. This has occurred. So this is not alleged at this point. The background story that I got, because I know somebody that lives near Chicago and is familiar with the murderer in question, is that the person that was gunned down was the current husband of the murderer's ex. And that is, in and of itself, is very, very sad. Um, those of us that have been living and breathing and have had a credit score for as long as we've had are not, this is not unfamiliar to us. This is a very much a domestic situation. This is very much in a roundabout way, a very fatal attraction kind of moment, because clearly the person that murdered the other person had a surging amount of jealousy. And this is not a foreign concept to those in the community that know this person or knows both people, so to speak. This video isn't so much to reiterate what's apparent these days, which is that we are very much in dark times. As a person that has experienced grief, surprising deaths in my own family lately, but also catastrophic events that have happened indirectly, tied to people in my family have worked with that have made decisions that have shocked everybody. Murder suicides have gone up. This this is a very much an example of shit is very much crazy out here. Um, Jealousy and envy is does not care what your orientation is, does not care what your gender is, does not care how you identify in this world. Um, this is very much a human thing. Um, But what this video will revolve around is that there is something that happens on social media, um, in the community that I'm a part of, where people take moments or trends to police and gatekeep. Um, you know, in my personal opinion, Mr. Fox the RFU's podcast, you know, this is what you would call a main character syndrome. You know, the two people that are in this situation are two people that folks, whether it's a person that knows both or a group of people that knows one or a group of people that knows the other, at the end of the day, this is definitely a situation like any situation or a tragedy where a person loses their life that people care. You know, people care about the people involved. Um, what I've seen in the last 12 to 24 hours on social media is that it is clear that people that know the murderer are not surprised. But overall, you know, this is a reflection of people doing that kind of like I told you so kind of thing, or, you know, the vague booking thing, you know, the thing that people do on social media where, you know, they're hinting at something, but at the same time, don't don't ask them about it. Don't don't make any kind of comments or anything under the post. Don't do any kind of engagement because it's not your business. Why'd you bring it to social media? Now, I am not anywhere near Chicago, but I know that for the most part, any murder, any assault, definitely anything that results in the loss of life is going to make news. And this is no different. Since it happened Thursday morning, the news has already made it to print. It's online of what happened, where it happened, the name of the person that killed the other person, but not so much the particulars behind, you know, the relationship between the two, which, when you think about it, definitely leads to what I just told you guys a couple minutes ago. So, like I said, the victim in this case was the current husband of the murderer's ex. I don't know how long, but understand that at the end of the day, the victim was out walking his dog early in the morning on Thursday morning and was chased, shot at, gunned down, and died. And in the 12 or 24 hours since that has happened, the majority of folks have, in my purview, have taken it upon themselves to vague book about it, but also police and gatekeep. And, you know, on social media and Facebook and Instagram and wherever you go, Blue Sky, to engage, that's a common thing. And it is unfortunately maybe at the hands or the disease of social media has allowed people to miss miss the mark. You know what I mean? Um, we in the community, we just, or as a people, we can't avoid making things about us. Like, clearly, these people, one or both or whatever, and you clearly made the priority of your day to come to social media and kind of point to something, but not, make it, not be explicit or come out and say what the fuck happened. Um, which is going to arouse people of concern. And in the same post, you want to tell people about, grieving and, kind of play around with what they can do and can't do and don't ask you. And, well, why the fuck make a post? Like, it trips me out. People go to social media and make posts, whether in this specific area or just in general, and turn off the comments. Oh, you're doing this to run numbers up, to get some engagement. And the gag is Facebook is not necessarily a place, as opposed to like TikTok, where you make money off engagement, to my knowledge. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me. But the point is, you made this moment about you, you know? And as I sat back and thought about it, I'm like, to the kind of people that are like using this moment to make an aha, I knew it kind of post. It's like, for those of us that are out here and know people, or know people like this and have witnessed moments involving this person, how they react, that shows that they are clearly a jealous person. Um, at what point in yourself, as a person that has made numerous IG stories or Facebook posts, using the platform to platform that we're all a community, and we must all look out for each other, and it's us against the world. All the performative plot pieces and speaking points to give this appearance that everybody's welcome. At what point do you put that into motion? If we are ever going to actually get to a point of being community, we must see everybody. This is not a healthy thing. This jealousy, this envy, this insecurity, the choices. Like, if you are like me, you're out at a club or you're out at the bar and you see something going down, a domestic situation or a situation between two people that know each other, or even if it's people that just crossed paths and it went awry at that moment, you pay attention, right? And you're like, okay. For me, I'm gauging the threat level. I'm like, okay, it's starting to get a little loud. Which, if you're in a loud place and the volume of the situation starts to take away from the music and what's going on in the room, like, okay, I'm naturally a curious person, and I'm a little nosy. It's not. I'm not above that. Like, that's called looking out for other people and looking out for one another. and not, this is beyond just making a passing 24-hour IG post or a reel or whatever. Because I've seen in my experience in life and as part of the community that folks very cliquey still, very very cliquey, have their favorites, and if you are a favorite, you don't have to work for your existence or your access in this space. All you got to do is have a certain size or girth of a particular body part, and you're in there, and you get rewarded. And 10 times out of 10, but all you got to do is be white and show up. And there are concessions, they roll out the red carpet. Meanwhile, those of us that are not, we work, we show up, we have solid character, we tell the truth, and it's still not good enough. I don't think I'm ready for that conversation, but it is it is these kind of moments, and also definitely when a person passes, that the hypocrisy shows up in the room. You mean to tell me that you are a person of community, you are a person of which involves a considerable amount of humanity and character. Like, and when I say character, that means this space is not reserved. This positivity that is part of our brand as a community is not reserved just for the people we want to sleep with. This is for everybody. This space, this experience is for everybody. Yet in the very place where everybody is, you decide to make a post and in the same breath you're irritated. You want to the point that you police, regulate what and how people operate under your post. Like, you do know that it is possible in Chicago that there are people that knew one or both of these people. Even people that have since left Chicago, like in the past 5 or 10 years, who most likely knew one or both of these people, is going to want to know what happened. Like, that's like watching the news on TV, calling in, and the people at the news station are like, "Don't ask me. Don't. Why are you calling, bitch? You're the one that delivers the news." Like, in the same breath that you claim to be about humanity and you claim to be about community, you want to chop and screw up or be selective. Which, by the way, that this is one of those situations where I'm kind of like confused how you can be about community and have a preference, or which is nothing more than discrimination under a pretty veil. But I'll keep it there. I'll keep it cute for this episode. Um, like, I don't think a lot of people realize that at some point these impulses and these, I'll say, Freudian slips, because People like to act like, people like to say and act and treat people a certain way and then apologize, but then do the same shit next week. It's like, um, what, what? Are you being for real right now? Um, and this is really no different because we've been in this pandemic, beyond us. We've been in this reality, this new normal for about 6 years now. And we have seen and witnessed a lot of chaotic, confusing shit happen, not only here, but in the world. And I don't think people are grasping, maybe they are individually just trying to keep their own sanity, but I don't think people are getting a lot of what I've been talking about over here, Abstract and I have been talking about, that, you know, everything comes back to the choice and the decisions we've made. Never mind the justification for why we made the choice, but decisions that we make change the course of the future. Just like the decision this man decided to make, and this man was out there, like in the parades, at the festivals, just like everybody knew who this was for the most part up there. And even with the flexing and the smiling and the posting on his Facebook page, Thursday morning, he decides he is going to get up early in the morning, by the way, go to Rogers Park, chase after his ex-husband's current husband, firing shots and gun him down, and then try to take himself out. For the life of me, and I've been here, doesn't matter how long, I've been here for a while where I'm still, why bring other people into it? And when I say community, cause and effect, the choices and decisions you decide to make against another person of the community affects a lot of other people. And I know y'all love to talk. Like quiet as a cat. Grown ass men gossip more than females. Y'all talk. It's clear that you talk because y'all act differently from one day to the next, 1 week to the next, around the very people you've been smiling at the entire time. I can attest to that. In 2019, fall 2019 was very much an eye-opening experience. And, people, the thing about lying is that, and being deceitful, is that you have to remember the deceit and the lie. And from one appearance to the next, the shit kept changing. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to self. If you're about self, how the fuck can you be about community? How can you be considerate about the have-nots when you are a member of the haves, but you're only looking out for yourself? Like, be for real. And when you actually think about it, for a person to be up and this is the scary shit. To be up early in the morning at a specific street in the city while a person is walking their dog tells me that this person had been stalking them for a while. And, this goes deeper than fatal attraction, um, which leads me to ask, those of you that claim to be about community, I want to ask, were you invested enough to actually be there or, give a shit about these people? I mean, because at the end of the day, y'all were clearly invested enough to have an opinion or to make a post after the fact. Because, in experiences that I've shared or I've listened to from other folks in the community, people can do this a lot. Like anybody can have an opinion, anybody can make a platform, have a speech or whatever. But when the reality is not backing that up, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Me personally, when I saw the news or actually, used Google and Bing to get the story before I came to y'all, it saddened me. It very much saddened me because, like, in addition to what I said earlier, where choices and decisions that folks make, not just us in the community, it affects other people. Like, when you do a murder, when you rob a bank, when you kill a child, um, when you have any impulse or slip, when it comes to other people, that affects more than just you and that person. And the way people have been acting on social media in response to this says a lot to me. You post for attention, whether it's a word or a reel or a live. You post for attention. I mean, quiet as kept, to a certain degree, I don't think anybody that's ever talked about it by way of a Facebook post or any of that shit really gives a fuck about these two people, let alone the person that died. Because at no point on social media did anybody make a post around the reality that somebody lost their life. Not even a fuck you to the murderer, because how dare you? You can't take, and this is to anybody, because this is not new. This reality of a jealous lover murdering the current lover, husband, paramour, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, of their ex is not new. You can't take that the person you were with moved on to the point that you will alter the trajectory of your life. Like, trust and believe that this person that gunned down their ex's husband is going to do steady time. Oh, you murdered somebody and brought. Oh yeah, you going away for a while. And I just don't understand because what it's got to be at some to on some level a madness or a disease. I miss a fox. Oh, trust and believe. In my, I'm not telling you how long I've been on this earth. I could have, I could have flipped the table. I could have swung a punch, but I realized that my palate is pretty delicate. Jail most likely does not serve the kind of food that I like. And I worked hard for everything that I have. That separates me from people that ain't got shit to lose. People that they live and breathe operating off of being possessive, operate off of being territorial, operate off of being self centered, and they get a pat on the back for that. Who am I to get in their way? If you don't want people of solid character, people that are telling the truth, people that work their ass off for all of this, to the point that you want or you don't even care about them. You can have it. But understand that no matter what you think or decide or choose or any action you decide against another person, the universe is paying attention. And I don't think on a granular level that people get that in this community. Like, let's put aside the fact that a privileged white person targeting a marginalized black person or person of color is history repeating itself. And the campaign to oust or isolate and alienate that person is history repeating itself. You know, racism. It just befuddles me, the lack of care and the lack of consideration and appreciation for others. And when I say others, the people that we just can't help to other. People that just don't fit what we're looking for. And we stand firm in that. And we treat them accordingly. Discrimination. So, for me, this is very much this is a sad occasion and another chapter in the dark space that we're in these days. from what I understand, this person that gunned down this guy was served with a stalking no contact order by a man that was not his husband in 2023, 3 years ago. So for a while, he had been up to things for a minute. And I wonder, did anybody at that point that were his friends or the friends of the other folks try? Like, bro, like, you have got to let it go. You've got to let it go. Like, it's not worth it. It's just not worth going to jail for. Like, I know if it was a black person, it was me. No, well, not me, but somebody else that I knew. I would have been in their face all the time about it. But there's it. I don't know what it is in the community, or just with people in general that just they can't let the shit go. They cannot let the shit go. They can't. They're obsessed with it, and it's like you have all of this out here that you could have, and most likely want you. And with that, you can live and breathe and be free. But instead, you are quite possibly looking at being in a jail cell 23 hours out of 24 hours a day. Because you couldn't handle your ex being with this new guy. And I would theorize that given that the victim was the husband of his ex, that he had been stalking them for a while. And these two have been together for a while. I it's not in me. Like from month to month, when I'm on these apps like the social media stuff, and there's discourse. In the back of my mind, I'm like, if people want the bare minimum and live and breathe that shit, who are we to get in their way? If people don't want flavor or rhythm or talent or skills, who are we to get in their way? I, it, it's just not worth being a resident in a jail cell for. Before I get up out of here, I want to let y'all know. I want to stress, if you haven't already done so, I would implore you to continue to love on, hold close, and love, hug on tightly, your loved ones, family, friends, neighbors, spouses, because, you know, this situation, the ingredients or the sauce of it could be applied to any dynamic. Could be applied to where you work, your coworkers, um, people, in the political space, that's a thing too where, it's in the years since, 2016, people thought, people were trying to steal the election and stuff like that. People are becoming targets these days. And the crazy thing about it is they don't even have to know the person. People are getting rubbed out for doing their jobs. Like, the scary part about this is that this man was out walking his dog. Something a lot of us do. And will never live to see another day. Because some asshole could not get over his ex moving on. And the ex, out of the three people, the ex is the most affected. Like, you can't even be in love and go on with your life. Just please love on and hold close to those you hold dear to you. Like, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the last 6 years has been telling me that tomorrow's not promised. I miss the Foxy Refuse podcast. I truly hate it here. So much shit going on. This may not mean much to you, this video, but understand that, like, people out here continue to lose their minds. Stay strong, stay up, stay healthy, stay hydrated, stay black, and always do the right thing. And if you are deciding or planning otherwise, it's not worth it. Like, it's already bad enough out here that life in and of itself is, in a way, playing a trick on us, that we have all been set up to be in a mode of survival, only to realize that none of us get out alive. It is up to us to make the most of this life. And with that, make it as pleasant and enjoyable for the next person. You just never know what the other person is going through and how much they may need the positivity and the sincerity. No agenda, no plot, no stunt. If it's going to be long lasting, it's got to be real. Hold on to each other. Love each other. I miss Foxy Refuse podcast. I'm going to take a breather. I will catch you guys later. Continue to support, follow, subscribe to real original content creation, such as myself, content creator. I Refuse podcast available everywhere. The Usual Suspects available everywhere. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Fendi, like the bag. This is the